Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that they're all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They, like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, you know, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Madame. How are you?
Oh my God, Madame. I was about to say Queen of Queens, and you're saying Madame. Oh my God.
Look how beautiful you look.
Oh, thank you. Well, you always look beautiful to me. See,
Well,
okay, we're gonna keep on back and forth. We're gonna do this all night, right?
I miss you. I miss you.
I know. We've been, kind of doing some pre-recording, showing some people some shows we did a while ago to get them up to date, and now we're ready just to get in there and bring on some new stuff. Yeah, some new things, and have some wonderful other guests that are coming, spotlighting that we're doing. But I want to, and I don't want you to talk about this now, Serena, because I have a gift for you tonight. After we talk to our spotlight, wonderful person. Yes, it has to do with something that you did October 2nd. Yeah, so we're gonna keep that right there. Get everybody to think about it through the whole time, and then I'm gonna bring a gift to you. Yes, because you deserve this gift. But before we talk about it's always got to do with HHH. So this to give people an idea, it has to do with HHH.
Yeah, always.
Always, yeah. But we always, the reason why we kind of put this show together too, not just to give you insight, information, and awareness of Help Heal Humanity, but we were saying to ourselves, there's a lot of so many other world changer organizations, nonprofit foundations that are doing so many different things. Why don't we have some of the show look at and spotlighting some of those organizations? So we decided to do every Thursday. We bring them on. Let's talk to them. You get the chance to know them and see what they're doing. And I'm telling you, Serena, I know we have been having some mind-blowing.
We have, and I feel somewhat more educated and wise because now I can participate in conversations about different states and different rules and different charities that I never knew about until we started doing this podcast. So yeah, it's very educational, super insightful, and always, spotlighting the good that we're doing in the world.
I know, yeah. And then it just shows you, because I'm always talking about so much of a heart that you have, for what you're doing in the world. And just to see that heart just get bigger and bigger with everybody else, what they're doing in organizations, it gives me hope that people are really understanding that there's help that's needed and there are people that are doing the work. So, and there's no excuse for people to say, well, I don't know where to go. Who do I help? Well, we're showing you. We're bringing it on. We're showing you all the different organizations. There is no there's no lack. It's like, yes, everybody's helping different areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while I'm talking about it, let's bring on the spotlight, I guess, and just give me just a little background. Mr. Robert Dabney Jr. He is over his wonderful organization, VetPark's A.T.V, and it is a veteran service organization connecting with veterans with alternate, soul-focused practitioners that work together to provide complete systems of care for veterans and their family. His mission is to encourage, promote, and assist all U.S. veterans and their families on a journey to whole person wellness. And that has to do with mental wellness as well, through recovery-focused, alternate parts of what he does. So I just want to bring this wonderful, awesome, incredible person on, Mr. Robert Dabney Jr.
Hello. Thank you, Barbara and Serena, for having me on your show. I'm very honored to be here with you, World Changers, this evening.
Yes, you got it. World Changers. Yes. Well, before we get into talking, because we don't like this as to be like an interview. Me and Serena is not like the interview type style. Mm-hmm. We kind of just have that conversation, and through the conversation, we just get to know you, and we get to just applaud you, and then you get to tell people what you do so they can help you out as well. But I always want to figure out, okay, what made Mr. Robert get into this particular, just world changing what you do? So how did it start off?
Yeah, thank you. It started with my own journey. I think as most true world changers do, starts with something that they struggle with, something that they go through. And so a little bit about me. I am a U.S. veteran, served 9 years in the U.S. Army as a combat medic from 1998 to 2007. During that time, I deployed 4 times. And also I was able to have a wife and 4 kids during that time. And so there was a lot of good that came out of those 9 years. But during those 9 years, I also saw a lot of bad, a lot of things that really caused me to go inwardly and search my soul. Why am I here? Am I the one that should be here today? Just did a lot of soul searching. And when I got out of the military in 2007, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But one of the elders at the church I went to as a kid, he knew me. He called me over and saw I needed something to do. He asked me if I would go to the prisons with him. Started doing that just to kind of tell my story. I found out that inmates and veterans have a lot in common. Unfortunately, there's a lot in the institutionalization. So I was really able to connect with the inmates. But that started me on a journey that led me here. Working with the inmates encouraged me to go back to school. So I went to school myself to get a theology degree with the goal of becoming a prison chaplain. And so that's the first step in all of this. After leaving the military, going to get an undergraduate degree to become a prison chaplain. During that time, at the end of that 4-year degree, there were no jobs available. But I did I interviewed for an internship at a hospital to learn more about hospital chaplaincy. So since one door wasn't open, I saw a door open. I was like, okay, I'm going this direction. So I went and did the internship with hospital chaplaincy, lasted a year. They asked me to stay on their team, asked me if I would join their staff. They would help me get my master's degree. And so I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And I went to school. They sent me to school in Michigan. I got a master's of divinity in theology. And in 2017, finally, with all my paperwork, I was ready to go work as a hospital chaplain. So they placed me in one of their hospitals right outside of Chicago in Hinsdale. I worked with them for 3 years, and I would say it was great. It was going great, and that's what I always told everyone. But what I wasn't telling everyone was what was going on within me. Outside, I was happy, I was joyful, I was always wanting to be the one that encourages everyone else. Um, but inside, I was dying, and I was just really waiting on that bubble to burst. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to confess, that I'm having something going on within me. And so I just kind of kept it to myself. Um, Started self-medicating with alcohol and other things, and just really struggled at home in the evening for 3 years. And that's what started this. So as I was working at the hospital, unhappy, and it wasn't the hospital, it wasn't the job, it was the grief I continued to see on a day-to-day basis. So I grew up in the hood of Memphis, Tennessee. It wasn't really nice surroundings. It was just grief, pain, hurt every day. 18 years old, I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to the military. I got to deploy. I got to go to a bunch of beautiful places. But I also got to go to a bunch of ugly places, um, and so I experienced more and more grief. And so as I leave the military and go into the hospital, expecting this new life once again, I found myself in front of more and more grief and pain. And everywhere I looked, the world was just hurting. And so I was like, I need to protect myself. I need to get out of this environment and allow myself to heal. And so in 2020, January of 2020 to be exact, I resigned from that position in the hospital. A lot of people weren't able to understand it, but I knew why I needed to do it. It was for my own mental health and for my own well-being. Um, and during that time, and a little bit before I left the hospital, I began to explore with things that really brought me joy. I had to find them. I didn't know what they were. And I started picking up a camera, taking pictures. I started drawing again. I started writing again. And all those things brought me joy. And the more I started to research, like, why is this helping me? I found out that there was an entirely different world out there called alternative therapies. And there were people that got PhDs in learning how these things help people heal. But that had never been introduced to me in the path that I walked. I walked through every other path I walked through the similar path as every other veteran, meaning I get out, I go to the VA or I go to my local medical facilities, and they'll prescribe you medicine after medicine and talk therapy. Those things help, those things work, but they were never bringing me that joy that taking pictures brought me or drawing brought me. And so I began to just really strategize on how I could bring that to more veterans. How could I introduce more veterans to the world that I had found and rediscovering my joy in just doing something as simple as a kid would do in drawing um, um, and taking photos. And the more I learned, the more the world began to like really expand. The more I discovered that there were many things out in the world today that helps people deal with mental health that we aren't being necessarily told about. And so I wanted VetPark to start off as a marketing campaign for alternative therapies, if nothing else. Just letting other veterans know that art heals, writing heals, music heals. And the way I found, because most people wouldn't listen to what I said. And so I went onto Instagram, found veterans that were already doing these things and started promoting them and really built a page for them to spotlight them, encouraging other veterans to maybe give this a try. And if you do become good at it, maybe you can use this for something to feed your family. And so that is it's VetPark's beginning story in a nutshell. And I probably should just stop talking for a little while.
No.
I have so much more to say about it, but I will pause for a moment.
Well, first of all, Robert, and I know Serena is going to say her parts too. Thank you for your service. Thank you for serving and, being a part of the military and helping, so I always commend you for that and everybody else as a vet and still serving. So much kudos. Second, I love to hear the stories. I love to hear the stories that come out that became what you're doing right now, that you've seen that there was an issue. You looked at yourself and then you're like, you know what? There have to be other people dealing with this. And I like how you said you went to, you went and researched and looked around and said, where's my tribe? Where's the people? I know they're out there. I know there's a lot of other people that are dealing with this. And you found it, and then you made an organization to help them. So yes, total honor. Serena, any on your
Oh
end?
God, I don't even know where to begin.
I know.
Yeah, I'd say most definitely. I feel like we kind of run similar courses in respect to, for me, it was, I suffered in education. So I went in education. And then I worked in jails. I worked in mental health hospitals. So I always worked with at-risk youth and at-risk communities. And I would be the one that would be sitting in the team meetings, and they'd always roll their eyes at me because I would stir the pot. Because as you mentioned earlier, a lot of these therapists and a lot of medicine related to mental health is always a prescription, a prescription, a prescription, which drives me insane.
Yes.
And it's, go and speak to a therapist, which I do think therapy is important, and I think medications play their role to a certain degree, but alternative medicine and alternative health has always been a major key in my life as well. So I always focus on education, health, and healing, right? And I think regardless, like you said, you grew up in a neighborhood that wasn't very affluent. You saw suffering in your neighborhood. You saw suffering for sure when you were, out deported, out at war, serving. And then even when you come back and you're working in a hospital, you're constantly around suffering and pain and suffering. And so if it isn't up to you to go and figure out ways to be able to still be positive in the suffering, people just don't know what to do, how to act, what to believe. So there's so many different aspects of your story, your journey, who you are, and your organization, which I believe I want to learn more about, focuses more on a holistic approach to healing, right?
Yes.
And non-alternative medicine, which I'd love to have a conversation with you, because I've done years around the world getting certified in different modalities of healing that are non-traditional, and it's like you said, I had to go and find those. I had to go and search those. They're not readily available. And I think if those were the norm, a lot of people wouldn't be suffering to the degree that they are. So I applaud you for what you're doing, and I want to learn more about what you're doing.
Excellent. Thank you all for your kind words. I want to share one thing that's unique about VetPark as a nonprofit organization is that we are not building ourselves up. It's 5 of us that work together. We aren't building this organization to become a competitor to other nonprofits. I recognize that there are bukus of nonprofits in the veteran space, all wanting to do the same thing. And in doing so, we become competitors. They become competitors for the donor funds. And VetPark doesn't want to enter that game and become a competitor. I'm learning to be a peer support specialist in my 9-to-5 job. And what I learned from that is that there's room for us to walk along together. And so what VetPark is we're building ourselves up to do is to become a source of funding for nonprofits that helps veterans with those alternative therapies. And so there's a nonprofit here in Aurora, Illinois, where I stay. He helps veterans learn how to use a lathe. He does wood turning, called the Shoulders. He does wood turning, and veterans can come in. They can make a pin if they really enjoy it. They can continue to go and work with him and create themselves a stock of pins so that they can sell and buy their own machine. And so it's those types of organizations we want to support. We want to be able to fund push funds to them so that they can continue to do what they're doing. We do not want to, again, position ourselves as a competitor of any nonprofit. We want to use a buddy system and help us all bring the healing that's needed, because I think that's what it's really going to take. A lot of unity, a lot of working together, and a lot of individuals like yourself being supported by nonprofits like VetPark in helping veterans get the healing they need.
I love how you said that, Robert, real quickly, because I feel like we all need to learn how to get together and work together, because we're all trying to get to that same goal, the same objective. And a lot of times when we start putting ourselves apart, then, all this like this competitive people in their mind, I'm like, okay, why are we thinking competitive? We're all trying to be world changers. We're all trying to change in different areas. Why don't we just come together? It would be just so awesome. We could all just come together. This big event and just separate, like, okay, you get this, but let's put this big event together. We all just, come together. I mean, I know that's probably a Disney film that I'm just
Hey,
recreating. But
hey, those films
you
are
know,
sometimes based on reality. You never know what can happen.
thank you, Robert. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I do go there. I do, and I tell Serena, like, okay, bro, I just go there and be like, we should just do this. We all need to, But
Mhm.
it's just because it's always amazing. I see you and I see Serena and everybody else working towards it, and I'd be like, please support, support, support. So yeah, it's definitely good that we can come together and play together and just do what we need to do to make the money,
Mhm.
get the help. Because I know it's the money part, but there's also helping and having the time to come and help the organization. So it's more than just the money. So a lot of
Definitely.
times.
Hmm. Definitely.
So I guess my question to you in regards to your charity, VetPark ATV, I might be silly. When I think of an ATV, I think of a four-wheeler going going through the forest. So maybe can
Hmm.
you tell me what ATV stands for and
Yeah.
exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's multiple things. I'm a writer. I'm a creative myself. Uh, the actual words are alternative therapies for veterans. So Vet Parks Alternative Therapies for Veterans. That's the nonprofit. But when the money, when our funds are more, when we have the capacity, I'll say it that way. One of the logos we will use though is an ATV with a veteran on the back. We want them to know that we'll get them to where they need to go, regardless of what it is. One thing I believe, and I say quite often, is that there's more than one way to heal. Some veterans will heal best in the ocean. Some veterans will heal best on mountain climbing. Whatever it might be, we want to be able to be that organization that helps them get there. And so that's the image that I want to come to mind. That, excuse me, we are desiring to come to mind. That ATV, we'll get them there.
And so when you say that, I believe you will offer things that most people do, like maybe counseling and therapists and psychiatrists and maybe
Mhm.
even some medicine prescribed by psychiatrists. But I'm thinking you're focusing more on, like you said, the art therapy, music therapy, the creativeness that's within you. I always say there's the physical component, whether it's like you said, you're mountain climbing, you're swimming,
Mhm.
doing some component of physical work, getting out, walking. I always say walking in nature is like the best medicine that I've ever been given. It does vary person to person, but again, in my classroom, I did have art therapists come in, music therapists come in, and when I first started doing this, people looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. Again, stirring the pot. What are you doing?
Mhm.
And it was just, or even just bringing the kids out into the community instead of the classroom. When you
Mhm.
change their environment, when you give them different tools and resources that they didn't even know were available to them, and you show them and you take them out there and you kind of coach them in the beginning, all of a sudden things start to shift in them. They start to feel better. They start to enjoy things that they never enjoyed. They start to learn things about themselves, overcoming fear and all of that stuff. And I think when you are able to provide those tools and resources, I believe anything and everything is possible, right? The healing journey takes a completely different shift. And when you are able to offer that to people, especially when people don't know about it,
Mhm.
these are light bulb moments people have,
Mhm.
and for you to be able to give, especially the veterans, this kind of service, I think is incredible. So what, I listed the things that I think you're doing. Did I hit it right? Am I
So
missing some things?
thank you, thank you, thank you. Those will be a part of the services we provide. Honestly, we operate more as the middleman, as a service provider. So in one case, there's an organization. This is a nonprofit in Chicago. It's not built for the veteran community, but they of course have seats in their programming for the veteran community. It's called Second Story. And so a veteran may come to Vet Park, and we do our intake exam, talk to them, just find out really who they are, what they did, what are some things that they liked as a kid. We're not trying to heal them in one day, of course.
Yeah.
Just really get a sense of who they are and what things may help. And then once we know that, we connect them with organizations that are already up and running. Connect, I mean, we let them know about them. And once they choose an organization they would like to participate with, Vet Park, reaches out to that organization, lets them know we have a veteran that would like to participate with them, and Vet Park will cover whatever that cost is. And so this organization I was thinking of in Chicago is called Second Story. They have classes throughout the year where individuals that have been through traumatic events, no matter the situation, they're able to go to Second Story, take a few classes with some of their storytellers, and they have opportunity to rewrite that traumatic event. And then they provide them with an opportunity to do it in front of a crowd, like storytelling. And so for an organization like that, the veteran would come, we would pay for their seat in that class and just ensure they continue to go to their classes. If there are counselors, there are some alternative therapy practitioners, as she shared in my introduction with soul focused therapy. Regardless of what field there may be, if there's a veteran that has interest in thinking about that may be something they would like to participate in, we would connect them, we would cover their costs, and they would be able to participate. Again, I know that that one session with the Reiki with the Reiki therapist won't potentially change their lives, but it may be something that helps. And the thing that we really want to promote is hope. Perhaps rock climbing with this group did not help, but perhaps going to a CrossFit class may help you. And really what it's all about, what I know, is about community. It's about that veteran finding some community they can be a part of. And typically it's that rock climbing, or it's that there's a group. I hope your fans, your audience is okay with this. There are a few groups that helps veterans grow cannabis in legal states. That's a community, and we will refer that veteran to that group for the sake of joining that community, in hopes that they would find their tribe, and then they'll be able to realize that they're not the only ones experiencing or feeling or thinking the thoughts that they've been experiencing and thinking. And just connecting them there automatically lowers their risk of doing something harmful to themselves. And that's what it's really all about, helping veterans get away from the possibility of ever getting to a place of wanting to do something to harm themselves.
Yeah, anything to help in their mental capacity that's going to help them. I feel like you said, like you and Serena have been talking about arts and rock climbing, all that stuff. It gives them, like you said, that hope, and it gives them awareness that something's out there that they can use. Because I wouldn't have knew that unless I met you and Serena. So that's why we love bringing people here, because even though the person doesn't need it, they might know somebody that does. And I always tell people, share the wealth, put it out there. Take this show. I tell people, listen to what Robert and Serena is saying. And if you know somebody that's having a hard time, especially, a veteran that's having a hard time in that area, there's possibilities to give them hope. And there's organizations that are there to help them. So I just honor you again with that. Now, I know you have something coming up October 29th that you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we do. One of the ways we have begun to raise funds, we don't want to be the organization that rely on donations. We have events. And so one of our second events this year is a costumed disc golf event. And what this means is individuals, is October 29th here in Oswego, Illinois, which is another far west suburbs of Chicago. Individuals are able to come out and just play disc golf. This is a tight-knit community, the disc golf community, in costumes for the sake of raising funds for the organization. And so the event we had in July was a great turnout. Everyone came out. They had fun. It was positive vibes. There wasn't any type of pretense. People were able to just come out and enjoy themselves. And so we are planning another one. We were asked to have another one this year before the year was out. And so we wanted to do something special, and we're doing what we're calling our Costume Classic. It's going to become an annual event if we have our way. And so, yes, this year, October 29th at Eagle Ridge Park in Oswego, Illinois, will be our second disc golf tournament, costume themed. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to be a veteran to participate. And yeah, everyone's invited that is in the area.
Yeah. And I love that. I love, Help Heal Humanity is the same, but I think we're going to be changing in 2023. Up until now, we have raised all of our funds through events, right? And it's so funny because we have thrown some pretty wild parties, and and people, you know, when I go to rent the hall or whatnot, and I tell them it's a fundraiser, but like, trust me, we have like DJs, we have live performances, we have, you know, live artists, and we have a fully stocked bar. And they're like, yeah, people don't really drink too much at our events. And I'm like, no, trust me. And then the next day they were like, wow, that was insane. And even everybody, that's what you said, an annual event. Due to COVID, we haven't been able to do one. Definitely next year, I'm going to, you know, redo it, because when people come out and they have a good time and they celebrate, and you don't really make it so much about, you know, yes, you give your speech and you tell people why we're doing what we're doing, but just bringing people together and good people to have fun and to let go. I think it just, you know, it's missing right now. You know, it's missing a lot. And I think people want to get back to, you know, the events and the celebrations. And what I always say is, like, if you're going to come and be entertained and fed for, like, you know, $50 maximum, you know, where else are you going to go get good food, good vibes, good, you know, good music, and all of that going to charity to help other people, right? So it's always a win-win situation. So everybody has to go to your event. Right? Has to do your event.
Yeah, they must go.
Yeah.
They must go.
Save the location, and is it a cost to get in? And
So-
again, they're going to go ahead.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, it is a $40 registration fee. Another way we are supporting this is average. It's a normal fee. It's a normal price for a disc golf tournament. But one thing we're doing is grabbing hold of the hand. We are working with another nonprofit, and let me say it that way. Again, we're not coming on the scene as competitors. We're coming on the scene as peers. And so the organization that we have partnered with here is called A Call to Shoulders. And so half of the proceeds that come in now will go to Call to Shoulders for their materials and for their programming. This is the gentleman I spoke about earlier that teaches veterans how to use a lathe to learn woodworking, wood turning. And so with our proceeds from this event, half of it is going to VetPark for what our operations cost, but the other half is going to Call to Shoulders. And this is being done for multiple reasons. One, to help out this nonprofit that's local, but also to help others become aware of our purpose. We aren't here for ourselves. We're here to support these nonprofits. We're advertising to the veterans and to those that support veterans, but our primary clientele is supporting the nonprofits that support those veterans. And so $40 is the cost. There's a registration. There's a QR code on the flyer, which I did not send you all. So I apologize. I can do that this evening. And I would be just happy for anyone that would come out and support in any way.
Yes. Now I was going to say, we'll make sure that we put the links and stuff for this show so people can see. And then for the October 29th, they're interested in coming to support. Now, if they say that people can't make it, or if they're in a different state or whatever, is there a way that they could still maybe give the $40 to, you know, go towards it without?
Yes. And I'm not the best salesman yet. We do have a PayPal account where individuals can provide a donation. And I just looked at the paper. It's info@vetpark.us. And that will connect you directly with our PayPal. And if you just have any other questions or find any other ways that individuals may want to help or support, they can also reach out to info@vetpark.us, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that they may have. One last thing I forgot to include about the event. Not only are we supporting another nonprofit, one nonprofit with this, A Call to Shoulders, we're also looking to partner with an additional nonprofit that supports veterans. And we haven't fully gotten their okay, so I'm not going to say their name here. But we are asking individuals that come out to donate a new hat or coat for this winter season for the veteran community. As you all know, Illinois, the Midwest, Chicago, we're going into winter, and it gets ugly around here in the winter time. And Chicago has one of the highest homeless veteran populations in the U.S. Outside of LA County. And so we are also collecting hats and coats, anything people have lying around that are new that they would like to donate. And so that's an additional thing that we're asking the community to do for us as we have this event.
Oh, that is awesome. See, everywhere. See, where you're getting on every angle, having some fun, giving some, some money here and there for the cause because you're helping another organization and coats and everything. So you're covering all. That's good.
That's
Good,
my partner, Jake Alcaraz. I want to make sure I let him know that I'm appreciative of everything he does. He comes with these ideas. He's been the primary pusher of these disc golf events. Is one of his favorite things to do. And we're finding ways to he's a Marine veteran. And so we're finding ways to link our passions for the veteran community with the idea for serving the veteran community and finding ways to make things happen. And so most that costume classic is all him. And so I want to make sure we say thank you to Jake.
Yes, thank you. You said Jake?
Jake Alcaraz, yes.
Thank you, Jake. And see, you have a team, and I'm loving that, where you're all thinking in different areas to help the whole, like I said, objective that you're doing. Now, what we usually do, Robert, is I take myself down. I know Serena had some issues. I think she's back. But what we usually do is take us down and then give you like 30 seconds just to give you some lasting thing that you want the audience to know. And then we'll come back up and get your contact information again. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, so one thing I want the audience to know is that that there's hope in the world. Many of us have gone through trials and tribulations. I myself was one that once believed that anyone that wasn't a veteran could not possibly suffer as much as I have suffered. And I have since learned that not to be the case. And so I just want to encourage everyone to have some capacity to love or offer grace to those that they interact with on a daily basis, because you don't know or understand or even realize what it is they may be going through. And if this is you, if that is you that's going through your worst moments right now, I just want to encourage you to have hope and know that that another day does come, and it may not be sunny directly the next day, but eventually the sun will shine again. And I just want to encourage everyone to continue to be hopeful and knowing that they can heal and help those that are around you that may be going through something hard right now themselves.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that last final moment and thought. And like I say to everyone, the whole world can change just based on kindness. And I think a lot of people have forgotten just basic kindness and respect. So that was a great way to end it. And yes, let's bring hope to everybody who needs hope and spread love and be kind. And it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Robert.
Thank you all so much for having me. This was a real honor. I'm looking forward to continue to watch you all grow and to see the way that you all continue to change the world. Thank you for letting me be a part.
And also, Robert, if you know any other organization, because I know you work with a lot of them, because you're that person that's helping everybody, please let them know about the show. We'll bring them on. We want to spotlight more nonprofits, and we're always looking for other nonprofits to come onto the show and just shed their life and be that world changer that you are and everybody else. So thank you so much. Please give love to Robert and his organization. There's a lot of things happening that's going on October 29th. You don't have to be there in Illinois. You can still give from your heart where you're at in your home. So with that said, we will see you soon. And Serena will be right back after this sponsor.
Although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today.
My name is Serena Bufalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Wow. Uh-oh. You there?
I'm here.
Oh, good. It went in and I said, please don't. I don't want to lose you again.
Yeah, I don't want to lose you either.
So again, it seemed like I'm noticing there's a lot of, like you said before, a lot of veteran type of organizations that are putting together, nonprofits because of the need, especially for the mental health part of it. I'm noticing that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't even imagine what that would be like. I go to places like Haiti for months at a time. And I know after a certain period of time, like I need to come home. I need to come home for a brief moment to just breathe, try and put some perspective into it, even though you never can, and then go back out there. But, when you're seeing people suffer, when you're seeing people die, when you're seeing, people at their lowest point in their lives, and you see that often, it starts to wear and tear on the heart and on the whole community. So I do think that a lot of veterans have been through a lot given the service that they've done. And I'm just always shocked to see that the services are not readily available for them when they are the ones that stood up for our country and rights. And without them, we probably wouldn't be here. So I feel like they should be getting the most kudos, the most resources, and unfortunately they're not. But there's kind people out there, like Robert, who do what they do, and he was a spirit too.
Yeah, and he was doing it. So again, giving him kudos so much, and thankful. I really, again, I always want to thank you, Queen, because you always give a good perspective every time we do have a guest. And you always know a little bit of all of it, even though that you're not in the organization, but you understand where they're coming from, either by the education or, dealing with the homelessness and all that. So thank you for always bringing that perspective into the show as we're talking to the other nonprofits. So
yeah, of course. Creating the show and being the queen of all queens, Miss Barbara.
I'm just here to serve you. I'm here to serve HHH. But no, okay, now let's talk about HHH. Okay, now thank you, Robert. Now we're going to move on to the gift. So October 1st was a big fundraiser, one of the big fundraisers that HHH, Help Heal Humanity, does. And it is the annual bike ride.
Yes.
That Serena was a part of. So Serena, I want you to just give, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to not just let Serena tell you, because she'll tell you afterwards, but I want to show you this woman and her team and how amazing they are. So let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. I think I have it. Do I have it?
You sneak.
We're going to share this.
I don't know when you're showing.
Happy.
Uh-oh.
Saturday Humanity. It's Serena Bufalino, coming to you from my backyard. Quite excited to be jumping on my bike today to do my third bike ride of the year. In exactly 2 weeks today, the Bike Ride for Humanity will be happening. We will start in Toronto and end in Niagara Falls. I have a couple riders so far. Looking for a few others to join in, so please message me if you're interested. I want to thank everyone who has already donated to the cause through Facebook. Facebook is still open, so please, even $5. I just want to see your name there. And then the day that I'm riding, I'm going to remember all of you, give a shout out to you. And when I get tired, I'm going to think of you, the children of Haiti, so that we may have a successful bike ride. Stay tuned. Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful day. Get out, have fun, and we'll see you soon. Bye. And there she is. Bye. Happy Wednesday, Humanity. It is September 21st, which means we are 9 days away from our third annual Bike Ride for Humanity. I will be jumping on my bike for my fourth ride of the year. In exactly 9 days, we will be riding from Toronto to Niagara, raising funds and awareness for our charity, Help Heal Humanity, and in particular for the children in Haiti. Right now, Haiti is probably in what is being called one of the biggest catastrophes ever witnessed in the country. The entire country is on lockdown. The gangs have taken over. The fuel prices are causing an extreme violence, and it's a really hard place to be in right now. And so that gives us more strength so that we can spread our love and we can spread hope to those children who really need our help. And all proceeds from the bike ride will be to support the children of Haiti. So if you haven't donated, I ask you please to go to our Facebook fundraiser, donate whatever you can, $1, $2. I've had some of my students donate $5, which is beautiful. So a little bit goes a long way. We need your love, we need your support, and we'll see you soon. Ciao. Hello, Humanity. It's Serena coming to you live from the school gym. Getting in a bike ride today, 4 days away from the big Bike Ride for Humanity. I'm asking everyone who's watching or listening, if you can please go to my Facebook page, donate what you can. The goal is $2,500 to send 5 kids to school. We're $1,000 away. So please, give what you can. And together, let's make a difference for others. Let's do this. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, everyone. Here we are, Saturday morning, starting our bike ride for humanity. You can see we have a whole amazing crew. So I'm just going to walk you through as we're getting ready to get started. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello. Mark, say hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Here is
Alex.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Serena.
So that's all of our riders. There's quite a big crew. I think we're 14 people. I'm super excited to get started. It's going to be an amazing day. If you haven't already gone to our Facebook page, Serena Bufalino, Joe Casagrande, Peter Inazio, we all have fundraisers going on. We will report every couple hours. Have an amazing Saturday, and thank you to everyone who's donated and supported. You're with us in spirit, and yes, yes, yes.
Wild, Barbara.
Hello, humanity. We are at the halfway point. It's been a great ride so far. We have tons of riders, tons of energy, good weather, great support, and of course, great cause. So you can see we're having our lunch break. There's lots of riders. And it's been a really good day so far. So anybody who's listening, watching, here we are halfway, lunch break. And anybody who has not donated, but is thinking about donating,
now would be the time. We are so close to our reaching our goal. Just do it. Do it. Everybody go, yeah!
Love it.
And there we have it. An amazing crew. Donate for a great cause. Help heal humanity. Seed Kenya. See you at the finish line. Yes, yes, yes. You! Woo! You!
Wow, you went all out. Wow, I can't believe you did that, Barbara.
You know, sometimes we have to show what the queen is doing more so than do the talk. So I was like, you know what? People need to see how you basically transform yourself in this organization all the time. All the time. So, Queen, I bow down to you. I really do, because you are just amazing to me. And just looking at your journey. So, what do you have to say, lady? I know you want to say something before we sign off.
You know what? I think that was just so beautiful that you did it, to see kind of the leading up to it, which is really, that's it, 2 weeks leading up to it. And it's really the power of the mind. You know what I mean? The physical strength, yes, that's important. But I think at the end of the day, our mind and our will take us where we need to go in life. And if we just believe, if we believe in the goal, and we believe in the magic, and we believe in our efforts to do good, good will happen. You know, at the end of that bike ride, we raised over $7,000. You know, and again, that was not a massive effort, but I do wake up every morning and I do say, you know, thank you for another day on this earth, and please use me in any way that I can be used. Because I truly believe that that's what my purpose is. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep fighting the fight. I'm going to keep doing whatever crazy things I have to do to get attention. And I think you could tell I have a pretty good yell. I can scream and I can motivate people. You know, a lot of people come on that bike ride and they don't want to do the whole thing. And we're like, that's okay. You know, you can back out 40K in, 50, 20, whatever. And everybody ends up finishing and they all say, like, I can't believe I did that. But again, it's about community. Like we were saying today, community can transform your life. And when people come together for the goodness of others, it's just kind of really beautiful what happens. So let's just keep doing good in the world, and let's just keep building a really good community for Help Heal Humanity.
Well, I just, like I said, when I was seeing you on that journey, it just, my heart was just fluttering through the whole thing. And I was just rooting for you in spirit. Because I couldn't be there, but just watching. And thank you for putting out those videos, because that really helps get people and say, wow, this, you know, I'm a part of this community. I'm a part of this, you know, fundraiser. I'm a part of this world-changing atmosphere. So thank you for showing the journey. That's why I was like, shoot, let me get this journey together and put it together. People know what's really going on here.
You know, I love you, Barbara, and I love all that you do for Help Heal Humanity. You know, yeah, you might have one specific role on the board of directors, but you do play so many different roles. You're always there to support, to give, to love, to learn, to grow. And I wish everybody was, you know, as open and beautiful and kind and energetic as you are. You're a very special queen, and I love you, and I love what you do for us.
Well, you know, we got to finish this out right. We got to do the Serena yell. What you always say at the end?
Yes, yes, yes. Woo!
See you all next week. Love you, Queen, so much.
Love you. Bye-bye.